Hello and welcome back to Gran Turismo 7. Thank you very much for joining me in today's video. Now, last time out, I was taking part in Race 2 of this Gran Turismo Race Together event, where I tried to race against the most lifelike and human AI that we have ever experienced, which is the Gran Turismo Sophy. I believe Sophy, as I alluded to last time, is supposed to be a mix of Sony and Polyphony, which is Sony was the AI, I suppose, the AI engineering behind it, coupled with Polyphony. In fact, it says it right there, an AI agent developed by Sony AI in collaboration with Polyphony Digital and Sony Interactive Entertainment. So I took part over the past couple of weeks. I've been doing Race 1 and Race 2. I say past couple of weeks, you may notice in the top corner, this is all on the same day. Race 1 was decent. I wasn't sure what to expect, so I was very much trying the Gran Turismo style driving. That does not work anymore. My driving was also fairly rough, and I was having some issues with my Fanatec gear stick. I have tried to rectify the issue, which is why this is much later. Whilst the other two were recorded within half an hour of each other, 40 minutes of each other, this one is recorded a couple of hours later because I've been trying to do some repairs, some fixes, so I'm hoping that works. Race 2 was quite realistic and indeed very, very difficult. The one-on-one was something I could not do, so that's maybe something to come back to, but it may also be because I do not particularly like the track. Whereas Race 1, I did like the track. I did manage to do the one-on-one. It took a couple of attempts. Once I got used to the car and the track, that one was not all too difficult. This one felt very realistic though, compared to the first race, where I thought in the first race, yes, it is quite realistic. In the second race, it just felt a little bit more. The AI still made a few weird moves. I remember the Lancia Delta that you can see in the background, the green one, Delta Integrale. It should have, at one point, it should have moved over to the left-hand side, but instead it moved over to the right-hand side, where, as I said, it should have moved over to the left. But there we go. These are things that, as time goes on, obviously this is just a demo, they will be refined. Also, occasionally they do still turn into you, but for the most part, they do not ram into you like the other AI. So in this video, we are going to take on Race 3. 3 Corvettes. This should not be too difficult to write. I say that, this is probably going to be pretty hard, but there we go. This is what this is all about, and realistically, around Trial Mountain, I should be okay. I know the track. I know there are parts where I'm not very good, but at least I know the track. And what I'm going to do in this video is I'm probably going to talk about specifically how this Sophy AI is helping to improve my own racecraft and actually making me a faster driver, which I've already noticed through the first 2 races. So make sure you stay tuned to watch me lose against these 4. Well, maybe just the Violets one, but certainly lose against at least one of them at some point. And don't forget, if you do like these videos, please do give them a thumbs up. Okay, as usual, we have the hardest AI behind us. Is this yes, it is. It's paddle shift. The hardest AI behind us. The green one is not the hardest. Right. Getting used to Trial Mountain again and the speeds that this car can go, because I've never driven this car. Believe it or not. Yep, the green car is catching up to me now. Of course, on beginner mode, this should not be difficult, but it will be when you do not know the car. So there we go. Did have a bit of a bump from the AI, but that's okay. A particular favourite car of mine in front, which is an M3. Actually, there we go. Just got up the inside here. Okay, so they still do turn into you, because that was, I mean, if you look at that, that was clearly a bit rude. So it doesn't feel quite as realistic here, but what it is allowing me to do is it is allowing me to, at least, well, at this beginner point it doesn't really do much for me, but whoa, they are ramming into me a lot more in this one. Now, is that because the cars are too fast, or is it because I'm still getting used to the track and I'm too slow? I think it might be a combination of both, because obviously you cannot go sort of unreasonably slowly. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. The violet one is going to come past me very quickly. There's the blue one, and the violet one is on the blue one's tail. I need to move my microphone, it's kind of getting in the way. But for the first race, really what I'm using this race as is a way for me to get to grips with the car and the track combination and start getting a feel for it. As I said, I may know the track, but it isn't, I've not raced this car for a while, so, or I've not ever raced this particular car, I've not raced this track in a little while, so just learning where to position the car, where the bumps are, where to brake, how much to brake. For example, there, that was pretty poor from me. So just learning the ins and outs of the track as I am getting used to it. See, I still think I could go way more on the inside there, way more on the inside, but for now, because it is at a beginner level, you will notice that I am clawing or gaining a lot of time compared to the previous to the cars around me, and that's just simply because this car is so overpowered compared to them. So realistically, I think that at this beginner level, at least for me, apart from idiotic driving, this is not a challenge. It's more so, I feel like this beginner level is there to sort of ease you into the fact that, hey look, this is the car and the track. For example, I still cannot get that turn right. This is the car, this is the track. Go ahead and learn it before you get into a slower car, which is a bit weird, because realistically what you would be doing in real life is you start with a slow car, then you work your way up to a faster car, but in this I seem to be doing, well, the opposite. So there we go, that was a fairly easy win. I'm just going to move this microphone a little bit. There we go, so that I want to try and not hit it when I turn the wheel. So there we go. Okay, so that was an easy 25,000. Really not something for me to be concerned about. I'm not even going to bother looking at the replay for that, because that wasn't interesting, realistically. Okay, so I've already done the beginner one, and I was going to put that on screen, but in fact I may still have the beginner on screen, but you're going to see a cut here, because after having done the beginner one, that was really easy and quite dull. So I'm thinking, if you see this race first, I'm going to go straight to the intermediate. And there is one thing I've noticed about Trial Mountain and this lot. They're not very good here. They genuinely are not very good here. It just feels really wonky. Even in the beginner one, I got hit a couple of times. Now, I'm not saying I'm the fastest here. Clearly I'm not, because I'm so unused to driving on these tracks with these cars. But the way I was hit, the way I've been shoved out, I mean, there's an example. What is that? That is not how a human attacks. And again, So let me go ahead and retry that. But you've just seen a prime example right there of it comes up the inside and then just smashes you out the way. It isn't that, and it wasn't that I'm not leaving room. I'm definitely leaving enough room. It's just they seem not to be able to, at least on this circuit, understand how to race. Compared to the previous circuit where they were really, really good. So what you have to do is you have to block off the line very, very specifically, or crash, you know, as you do there. Okay, let's try that again, shall we? But what I'm finding here, very much so, is that the AI are not very good at Trial Mountain in the slightest. In fact, they just seem to have no awareness in Trial Mountain for some reason. And I wish I knew what is causing this. But compared to the first race where they sort of, the first two races where they knew what they were doing, they could see where the car was and they could judge where the car was going to go. In this one, they just have none of that awareness whatsoever. And this is really strange. Really, really strange. So, for the first two races, I was very much impressed with Sophie. In this race, I would say I am thoroughly disappointed with Sophie. It is not very good here. Do not get me wrong, it's still probably better in many ways than the Gran Turismo AI, but overall it is not very good. Yeah, that is my overall opinion of this particular track and Sophie with it. Of course, there is always that caveat that it is, of course, a new technology that is going to be in development and is still under development, hence why it's just this race together demo thing. But nonetheless, I thought they might have picked tracks where it would be at its best, and if this is it at its best in its current form, definitely needs a lot of work. But at least I've managed to get clear of them this time, for now anyway. One of the things that I do find that about the Sophy AI is that because it can do all these power slides and everything, it does make it pretty difficult to beat. If it wasn't for the fact that it could do that, it would probably be a lot easier. That Corvette is on my tail, and I'm not surprised given that I am going really quite slow through all of this. And I do wonder how they take this corner, because they take that corner in a very different fashion than I do. This Corvette is fast. Now I'm hoping this one doesn't turn in on me, because I have seen them turn in on me before. No, you cannot do that. That's just pushing me out. Alright, if you want to play like that, then hey look, I can do the same. There you go. If that is how it wants to play, I can play just as horribly. So again, as I said, in the first race it was so much... the first race it was fairly okay. The second race it was so much nicer than... What are you doing? Okay, right. See, I I cannot imagine a human looking at that and going, yeah, that's a move I can make. But the AI does. So again, maybe some work needed there. Honestly, so far, Trial Mountain, not really impressed. I was going to talk about how it improves your racecraft and everything like that. In this case, it isn't really doing so. Let's go ahead and look for some opportunity to take where I can look at an overtake or something. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? There it comes. So I'll just go ahead and... Now this bodes either well or really badly for... I'm not sure if this bodes well or badly for the experts one. So that could go... Yeah, that could be something. Again, I'm not saying that this is horrendous, because obviously it's a new technology, but at Trial Mountain, I don't think it's working. I've had them turn in on me quite a few times. That's a good picture, though. That's a really good picture. Yeah, go ahead and save that. So yeah, I've had them turn in on me a few times when I was trying to record a couple of things before. It is, yeah, not the greatest. Let's try expert. Now I'm expecting this to be near impossible for me. I've noticed each round as I'm going forward, it is getting quite a lot harder. Goes defensive very early. Okay. Yep, this is way less. Now let's see if this thing turns in on me or not. So there is clearly no room there. Do not even attempt it. Okay, did not attempt it this time. That's interesting. Okay. I think the violet's one's attempting it, isn't it? Yep. I'm not going to be able to keep up with this lot. No way. I just do not have the capability to... This is what I mean. What was that? I just don't understand. There was clearly not a gap there. So why would you go for a gap that does not exist? That's not what Senna said. Senna says if you go for a gap, if you do not go for a gap that exists, then you are no longer a racing driver. Not make a gap where there is none. But yes, this is a much more frustrating experience than the first two races. Yes, okay, I'll be the first to admit I'm not exactly going very fast. There is not a gap there. That was not a gap. You could not fit a car. You were on the gravel. So, yeah, it is annoying to say the least over here. It's maybe they're reading the track differently. I don't know. See, that's like me trying to go down a gap right there, which obviously is not a gap that exists. Oh, I've just been done by the... yeah. Yep, that happened. Now that was... yeah, that's lost me the race, but that was actually smart. The way that was done, that was actually quite smart. So essentially I was blocked in by one and the other took advantage. Perfectly alright with that, and that is where I think, Sophie, you can see it does work. That is where you see Sophie at work. I'm going to have to be way more aggressive. I don't like being aggressive because I'm not an aggressive driver and I'm not very good at being aggressive. How am I going to do the whole aggressive thing? Watch this bump. I always get caught out on this bump many, many times. Oh, turn. I'd say you boat, but it really isn't a boat. What are you doing? Yep, that was your own fault. One car's pushing me on one side, the other car's pushing me the other side. Abysmal. This is what I mean about it. At this point, it doesn't work. And I'm not sure why it's doing that. Perhaps it doesn't understand the track limits well enough, but it doesn't seem to be recognising my car. It's sort of taking an overriding factor going, nope, you must turn. Which is like the old Gran Turismo AI, or the standard Gran Turismo AI, which I can tell you now that once I go back to that standard AI, it's going to be horrendous compared to at least what I'm experiencing here. Because this is fairly good, you see. They are racing at a reasonable race with a reasonable pace, and yeah, this is alright. They're not going to turn in on me. There you go. And I will give them just about enough room, just in case they decide to go. There we go. Not sure why exactly it slowed down, but yeah. So the green one turned in where there was clearly not. There was going to be an ever-closing gap, and and then the violet one decides that it's going to push me around anyway. So I just got sort of squished, which is a bit rubbish. But you know what? If it allows me to win this race, then so be it. Suzuka will be much better, I think. I really do. But this one has been disappointing. I think this is where I'm starting to see some limitations. And maybe it's because there's no runoff area. Just thinking about it. Maybe the lack of runoff area is what is causing this to... See, they're going into this dirt. That is not where I would ever take a race car. Because that dirt would just spin you. Now, I don't think I'm going to win this. I'm going to really try. Oh, here we go. Actually, I might. There you go. Again, that just went for a gap and now it's got itself stuck. It went for a gap that wasn't there. It turned into the wall. That's just weird. You may have seen that. And what I'll do is I'm not going to do the one-on-one on this. What I'll do is I'll show you in the replays what I mean. Now, it could also be the fact that I am closing gaps because I cannot see them in the mirrors, which could be fair, but they seem to be dive bombing, which I guess humans would do. Somehow that violet one's managed to get themselves back into contention. I mean, they're right there. It's ridiculous. That violet one is very, very quick. But yes, a little bit confusing there. So I'm going to show you in the replay, regardless anyway. Now I'll show you what is what. It's definitely not a clean race. Cool. Right, so that's how you look behind. Great. So this first move, pretty easy. That was pretty easy. Yes, I cooked that, went a little wide, but that's all right. Not a problem. So let's now have a look at this. So I've turned in. That's quite a closing gap. They still try to still tried to go further in, but maybe that was their racing line. So I'm not really fussed about that. Missed that one. They come up alongside, almost. That's fair. In fact, I guess we can just look behind for now. I messed this corner up, very slow around it. And now, this is where, right. There you go. That, you cannot say that one was my fault. So, let's, I cannot slow it down, but take a look at that. I've given them enough space, there you go. They've shoved me off the track, and then I've turned in, and the violet one's basically trying to push me around. That is not my fault. In fact, I am going to try and take that as a thumbnail. Because there we go. When AI goes wrong. Yeah, this is when it's all gone wrong. Want a slightly better. There we go. So I mean, I'm starting to try and steer out of this, but I cannot just turn the wheel really quickly. You can see that this one here. So what's happened is that this one, this violet one, is trying to move in that direction. Can I? No, I cannot show. So it's trying to steer in that direction. At this point in time, I don't know whether you can see its wheel. You can see its wheel is slightly turned, very slightly. There you go, you can just about see it. So it's trying to straighten itself up. Now in doing so, my car's here. So it is spinning the back of my car into this green car. Now this green car, before the tunnel, has pushed me off onto the grass, meaning that I've lost traction, which has led to me turning in this way in the first place. This green car, in the meantime, is trying to steer straight, trying to also straighten me up. I'm trying to steer. You can just about see my wheels steering. I'm trying to straighten myself up, but at the same time, I'm being spun by this car. That doesn't work. That really doesn't work. Which is why I kept racing. So there we go. I mean, as I said, work in progress. I wasn't expecting it to be perfect. I was expecting it to do a little bit. I was expecting it to be a little bit better than that, though. So they've been trying to go for gaps that really should not exist. I know this episode name, When AI Goes Wrong. Yeah, go ahead and save that picture. There we go. And obviously that led to them spinning out, me sliding, me spinning, etc. Right, go forward one lap. Let's go after the blue car. Okay, here we go. Let's have a good look at this one. I want to see if this one was my fault. So I'm on the brakes, I'm turning in. That's not a gap that you can go for. That was clearly not a gap you could go for. So at no points here, that's clearly a gap. I'm turning in, taking my line. There is a gap that is just about big enough for a driver. Yeah, that's just turned into the wall without me doing anything there. Yep. Okay, I think they've got problems because there's no runoff area. That is what I think has happened there. Interesting. And just to show how difficult this AI is, perhaps I should do the 1v1. There is no way I'm going to beat this, but I'm just going to show you just here in this, how difficult is this AI? Give it a go. Let's go. Even off the line, just impossible to go for. I was not getting that traction off the line. Maybe I'd have to switch traction control on. look at that. It's just gone. Like, there is no way I'm keeping up with that. So there we go. I'm not even going to bother. You can just see. In fact, let's see if I can at least get off the line properly. So let's see. Nope. Cannot even get off the line in a decent way. I mean, I could do this, which is probably a bad thing to do. But I could. Nope, I missed it. I cannot even crash into a car properly. I want to try again just off the line one more time as I end this video, just to show you the difficulty. So I guess I'm going to have to put yep, it isn't happening. I would have to have traction control on to get past that car off the line, which is a shame. I mean, there probably is a way to do it without traction control, but you know, I'm just saying that. Yeah, not going to try. So there we go. Trial mounting. When Sophy AI goes wrong. Very much so. Thank you very much for watching. Please remember to hit the like button if you like this video. Subscribe to the channel for more videos on Gran Turismo 7. Leave a comment in the comments box below letting me know what you think. Perhaps you've tried it and perhaps Sophy AI worked better for you. Certainly, as I said, in race 2 it was excellent. In race 1 it was good. In race 2 it was excellent. In race 3 it really wasn't that good. It really wasn't, and perhaps I'm hoping in race 4 it is really good, but I guess there's only one way for me to find out, and that is going to be for me to actually race it, which I shall do in the next video. So, like, comment, subscribe. As I said, if you can do so, please do consider supporting me on Patreon. Link in the description box below. Also, you can find me on social media at ECGadget LP for both Twitter and Instagram. And lastly, you can check out my Discord server. Link to that is in the description box below as well. That is all from me, and I shall see you next time in Gran Turismo 7, where I shall attempt the final race in Race Together and just see how it goes. So make sure you stay tuned.